me right now, back on the show, Kumite Radio, Martin Nguyen, one featherweight champion. What's going on, Martin?
Thanks for having me back, bro. It's good to always chat with you, man.
Good, man. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of action going on. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk about your bantamweight journey. You know, look back on the 2 fights you had. What were some of the things that you saw in the fights, watching them again, that you're like, hey, you know, maybe I wasn't really myself at that weight class?
Look, watching those fights again, man, it's always heartbreaking. Because then once in a lifetime opportunities, and to let them slip out of your hands like that, and knowing that you couldn't fight at your 100% potential, that's what breaks your heart, But it only motivates you to get better. So, I watch back and there's things, everyone's gonna say there's things I could have done and should have done, but it's then and there. If you don't do it, move forward, man. And that's how I see it now. I didn't capitalize on the perfect opportunities that was given to me. So it's time to get back to my roots, man.
Now let's get into the injuries that you've sustained recently. You've had a foot injury, and then you went public with a knee injury. Let's go into that foot injury. When did that happen? What caused it?
Yeah, so look, with that fight with Kevin, so one thing that we worked on was like a flick push kick, to keep him at bay. And you know what? I found that it was kind of working to my advantage, to a point where it made him freeze every time he'd want to come in. And I personally think it happened in the first round. I didn't feel it until the second round, but roughly around near the end of the first round, I felt that something wasn't right. Like my feet was, like my right foot was all tense. Like I was ready to jump or something like that, So back in my corner, I was looking down at my toe, and I was like, something doesn't feel right down there, but it looks normal. Like it looked 100% perfect. It was just tense, and I was like, all right, whatever. And second round came out, and sure enough, I was throwing the same kicks, and I was moving from his flurries that he was beating me to. So in the midst of moving around, I felt like I was stepping on something in the cage. So I was constantly like just quick glimpse looking down, and I was looking at my toe. And then at the moment, maybe about a quarter way into the second round, I noticed that my second toe on my right foot was underneath my big toe, like an L. And I was like, holy shit. Like just as soon as that freaked me out, as soon as I started thinking about my toe, pain started hitting me. Like it felt like I was getting pain through my shin. It was traveling up my ankles, and it was just one of those pains that you never want to go through. Like, you're punching someone and your hand's broken, but you don't want to think about it. But then once you start thinking about it, you stop throwing it because you don't want to damage it anymore. It's not one of those feelings. And you know what? It just came to the point where it just put me off completely. And everything that I tried to do, it wasn't working. And you know what? Props off to Kevin. He done his homework and he's done his job on winning. And you know what? He deserves he deserves that victory, man. It is what it is.
That Kevin fight, it was your second time dropping down to bantamweight. Was that tougher for you the second time around? Because we talked about it before, but now it's said and done. Was it tougher for you?
Oh, dude, it was. I've never been so dehydrated, and not only dehydrated, but malnourished in my life. It was an aggressive cut, and you know what, I knew it, and we knew it going in that it was going to be aggressive cut. So no excuses. I messaged my nutritionist. I go, look, we've got 7 weeks. I'm 7 kilos heavier. Can we make it? Yes or no? That's it. And I can accept this fight, or I can't accept this fight, because my body more than anyone after making me get down to that weight prior. She goes to me, so what are you waking up at now? And she was going through all the processes and everything with me. And it came to like 7 weeks and 2 days or something like that. And she goes, look, it's going to be a very aggressive cut. You're going to lose a lot of weight very aggressively. And with your training, you're going to feel like shit. But in terms of making the weight, is the question that you're asking me? Yes, you can make the weight. So I was like, okay, if we can make the weight, we're going to take it, and I'll cop everything else on the chin. And, I thought it was like a myth. when people blame their weight. But as you can see, man, my body was one kick away from breaking. It's never happened to me before, and it happened. So just the impact that losing the muscle mass and everything like that, it takes everything away from like absorbing shots and throwing shots and reflexes and all that. Sure, I had a bit of speed on me, but it wasn't matched to someone who was walking around at that weight constantly. So yeah, that weight cut was the last one was very aggressive. We did make the weight, but the body suffered. The first weight cut, in terms of Bibiano, we had 3 months to prepare, man. I was feeling like a dream. I already made the weight 2 months into the fight camp, and I had a whole month of readjusting my food plans, and I was having more energy towards the end of it. And I felt like $1 million, and I was like, man, this is my new weight division. But after that last weight cut and just going through the dude, I was like, I'll never forget this, man. And my coach, both my coaches even told me, my main coach, Fari, he was just looking at me like, fuck, you're putting yourself through a lot of work just to make weight. My striking coach that was there with us, he was like, man, you're running too much. I ran and rode on the bike 47 Ks on fight week in 4 days to make the weight. And it came to a point where I was 200 grams overweight, hydrated, sipping bits of water. I was on the lower end of hydrated. I was 200 grams over my weight, and I was hitting pads in a freaking hotel room, freaking 40 minutes before weigh-ins, man. And I was like, just trying to sweat, I was using so much energy just to lose the 200 grams. And I would lose those 200 grams, but then my urine will be like a bit yellower than usual, so I'd drink a bit more, and I'm back over, and I'm still hitting pads. And it came to a point where I was dead on, and I walked straight down there. I jumped on the scale, and I walked straight back to the room just to rehydrate again. And it was pretty bad, man. Like knowing the ins and outs of making weight, yeah, it was good. We made the weight as professionals, but it took a toll, man.
Definitely. If you analyze your last 3 fights, the Bibiano fight, in my opinion, you had great movement. You look like yourself. Like you look like you were when you were fighting in featherweight. Christianly, of course, you dominated that fight, even though it was a split decision. But then the Kevin fight, it was very clear that your movement wasn't like, because I've talked to people about you and your style of fighting, and they're like, yeah, he has that kind of like that TJ Dillashaw style of movement. And in that Kevin fight, you didn't have that. It was kind of limited. And it almost seemed like you're trying to save your gas tank to last in a way,
Look,
limiting yourself.
I've only watched that last fight up until the second round. It actually hurts me watching that fight. And like my coaches, they told me, have you watched it? If you watched it and you've done this, you've done that. So we're always analyzing, we're always working. But in terms of watching that last fight, that hurt me the most. Not taking anything away from Kevin, is one of the most prestigious mixed martial arts out there. And I felt like a fight out of 10, I would win 9 times out of 10. Just based on the experience that I've gone through, and the type of fights and the type of training sessions I've had. Not to be naive or anything, I came into that fight thinking that I win 9 times out of 10. And you know what? Kevin proved that it was a complete opposite. So going into that fight and thinking about it, it's heartbreaking, but it just sparks motivation inside me just to be like, man, now everyone thinks that that's my type of style, and that's the way I'm going to fight, and that's the way I'm going to end my career. And now it's playing on my mind where I've got to prove everyone wrong again. And this is the point where it came to a point at this stage as well, after I fought Gafurov, that everyone was going to think that this is Martin's weakness, and this is where we're going to beat him. That's how we're going to beat him. And everyone was talking shit when I lost against Gafurov the first time, and it sparked that motivation to make me go on like a 4 or 5 fight winning streak. So I'm getting that same feeling after I lost to Gafurov, and I've been training twice a day still. Everything's been training. We've been working. I haven't lifted weights one time this year up until about a month ago. And actually, about a month after that Kevin fight. So was that 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So I've been gaining all my muscle back, all the reflexes and everything that I missed out on doing. I've had back now, man, and focusing straight on this featherweight division.
You did have to relinquish your lightweight title because of a knee injury. First, let's talk about the knee injury, how that happened, and how the rehab is going, and then we'll talk about the lightweight crown.
So the knee injury, one of the guys in the gym, he asked me to just a young up and comer, very, very talented kid. And you know what? When I see people in the gym that are putting their heart and souls into their training, I tend to do the same for them, to do whatever I can to help them succeed. If I see the guys that just not consistent and just doing it for leisure, I'm just here, I'm just there, then you know what, I'll just be like on the fences. But this young kid, man, he's putting in the work. He came from another gym and he was like, I want you to be in my corner. Can you help me? And he's only like 16 or something like that. So, and he was very, very talented for a 16-year-old. So, you know what? I agreed to it, seeing the hard work that he put in, and he helped me actually helped me in the last camp as well. So just like a bit of payback to help him out. And we're doing our normal Tuesday wrestling sessions, and I was teaching him a takedown off the cage. One that I know that he would utilize well because of he's got a long reach and long arms. And you know what? I said, "Here, do it to me, so you know what it feels like." And he done it a few times, and I'm like, all right. And I'm like, yeah, do it again, just to get the motion, And that one last time he done it to me, I landed on all fours. Wasn't even hard. It was like I tripped over, and it was like an instant jar in my left knee. Like I felt like all of my weight just went on my left knee. That's what it felt like. And I sat down. And I was like, oh shit! Like my whole leg went numb. And you know what? I stopped training from there, and I was just guiding him through. I couldn't do anything else because it was like a jar, like you jar your thumb or you jar your finger. It actually hurts. So and then the next day, it didn't help me. I flew out to Hong Kong for the MMA Asia Awards, and when I fly, I swell up, and so my knee was swollen for about a good 4 to 5 days. I got back into Australia and had an MRI. And in terms of an MRI, I've never had one before, but yeah, they said high grade sprain tear or grade 2 tear, PCL, MCL, and ACL high grade sprain. And I was like, man, I don't know what does it mean? He goes, man, you've done a good job. It's still intact. You've dodged a bullet of surgery, but it's like heavy rehab from here. And I got a sponsored physio, and he read the same thing, and he's like, man, you dodged the big bullet, and this is why your knee is still swollen. And a week later, and blah blah blah, on to the next. And I was hitting physio sessions 5 days a week, man, for 3-4 weeks, 5 days a week, every single day I was in there. And yeah, man, I'm now on my 7th week, and I've had my first wrestling session again last Tuesday, and you know what, it doesn't even bother me anymore. And I start kicking. Well, not this week. I'm in Singapore. The next week after for sparring, so we'll see how we go.
Man, that's incredible. Now the lightweight crown, man, you relinquished it. I'm pretty sure it was a tough decision because it's always hard to let something go that you took so much time to earn. How tough was the decision to make?
Look, I sat down with my coaches, and they told me as it is, man. Like mentally, you're not there. Mentally, you're not there after this injury, and you physically can't be in the gym because you're injured. So we were back and forward with the board at one championship, and it came to a point where I was thinking more business side. Like the belt hadn't been defended because they allowed me to go on my bantamweight ventures, and it hadn't been defended or fought for in a year, and it was a stacked division. Everyone wanted a shot at it. It was probably the lightweight division is the most stacked division in my championship. So holding it up, I didn't think it was fair. So that was one of the factors that even speaking to my wife, she was telling me the same thing, and she's like got nothing to do with all this MMA games. She's like, look, business view, they let you do all this and you didn't have to defend it. Now you physically can't defend it. We think you should just relinquish it. It's not like you got anything to prove in that division. And I was like, look, it is what it is. And we chatted to the board, and the decision came to the final.
Now, with your injury and your recovery, when are you planning on returning to the cage?
I am. Well, first I got to get a doctor's clearance, but I think I'll get that very soon, depending on how I go with sparring, with kicking. I'm hoping February, March next year, early. We'll see how we go, man. I'll listen to the body and whatever it tells me and whatever I feel at the time, then I'll make the decision. But at the moment, I'm not looking at fighting, or I'm not looking at anything else but bettering myself and being with my family.
Well, I know you're always watching the fights and analyzing the fights and analyzing your division and other divisions too. When you look at the featherweight division, I've asked you this before, but now a lot of things have changed. Who do you see as the top 3 guys in the division?
Top 3 guys in the featherweight division. Well, the old lion himself, Narantangala Jadamba. I mean, he's fought twice this year now, from what I know, and he's won both of them, so he's back on that winning streak. Number 2 is Koyumi Mashishima, the guy that knocked out Gafarov. Being the underdog in that fight, came out and done the same thing that I did. The only guy to actually beat Gafarov other than myself. So I think he just shot himself straight up into contention. And number 3, I still think Christian is a high contender. But other than that, man, everyone else that's calling me out, man, just take a seat, couple more wins, and we'll start talking.
Definitely, man. One last question. The super fight that everybody wants to see is Bibiano versus Demetrius Johnson. And they said that they won't fight each other, right? They said they won't fight each other. But, people can dream. And would you look forward to watching something like that? Like, is that a fight that...
I would love. That would be so freaking entertaining. Just watching Mighty Mouse move around is like so entertaining. And, if they do ever fight, I think Mighty Mouse is he's just like an energizer bunny, man. You can't stop him. Like, you can hit him, you can take him down, but he scrambles, he gets back up. And in that last fight with Henry, I mean, Henry took him down, and I didn't see really any significant strikes landing. Or sure, he took him down, but Demetrius Johnson got back up. But that scoring system shit, man. Like, taking someone down and holding him is not a way to win. And look, it happened, and that's a wrestling, and they counted it as takedowns, and he won on class on points. Man, to take out the champion, to be the champion, you must take out the champion, and to prove yourself that you've taken them out, you're gonna take them out devastatingly. And I don't think, like, if Demetrius fought Henry again, Demetrius hands down would have that fight in the bag. I think anyway. But the rules clash, and fighting styles are different. But man, Mighty Mouse is a gun, and he's one of my favorite fighters, and I love watching him. I mean, he never got the love that he really, really deserved. I mean, the guy is literally a goat. It is what it is.
All right, Martin, man, thank you for your time. Yeah, and I'm looking to see you back in that cage early next year. I know you want to be on that Japan card, the inaugural Japan card. A lot of people are probably looking forward to seeing you there.
I'm sure there's a lot of fighters that want to be on that card, but you know what? If they ever put me up against the Japanese bloke, then I think fighting in his hometown and getting my hand raised in his own hometown would be bittersweet. So if I do fight in that card, beautiful. If not, I'm too fast, man. I'm sure they'll have another Japan fight card there, and I just take it as it comes.
For sure, man. No doubt, man. Always good talking to you. And I always appreciate the time you give me, man. And hey, you're still the champ. You're not, you ain't just the champion until somebody wins that belt, right?
That's it, bro. That's it.
DC still carried around both belts, right? So
exactly, man. Exactly. No, he's right, man. But it is People still calling me champ. I haven't even realized that I vacated the belt. I'm like, dude, I vacated the belt like a few months ago. It is what it is.